Oh, hello there. Welcome to my channel. It's been a pretty long time since I've done a video on here. So I'm kind of getting readjusted to everything, like looking into the camera lens and all that jazz. But welcome. And today I want to do a little story time, okay? So this story, I have a lot of stories. So this one is the one that came across my mind to share, and I hope it entertains you. Okay, so plot. The plot. Just like a fictional story, we have a plot. So this basically happened like 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Let me think. Oh wow. I thought it was 2 years ago. It's just 1 year ago. And I was traveling through one of my favorite places to travel. One of many favorite places, Japan. Now this story is pretty, I don't know what to say. It's peculiar, and I hope you find it entertaining. So let me get started. All right. So um, it was the beginning of the year 2023 when I visited Japan again. It's like the second trip to Japan, and it was really peculiar because I decided to explore a different area of Japan other than Tokyo. And I could say part of the failure of that trip, if you want to consider it failure, I don't think it was a failure because when you travel, you learn. And mistakes that I made in that trip, I learned from, kind of. So that trip was not the usual, I'll say it like that. Um, so I got there, I think it was like late January 2023, and what happened was I wanted to go to a different area of Japan other than Tokyo. And so I picked the island called Hokkaido. And I'm going to try to put a picture for you somewhere, okay? It might get there, it might not. And this place called Hokkaido is very unique. It's a large island on the north of Japan, and it's practically like going up north towards, I don't know, is it Antarctica? It's in the north? Might be. So it's one of the few places in the world where there's a beach that actually gets snow. And it's really amazing. And I saw it. I got a chance to see a glimpse of that beach while I was traveling through the island. It was amazing to see. If I can find footage of that, I'll try to include it, but I don't know if I'll find that. So no big promise there. Um, so got there at the end of January. It was very, very cold. Um, there's only one airport on that island, and it's located in the major city of that island called Sapporo. And Sapporo is, is freezing at that time of year. I don't know what possessed me to go there at that time of the year, but I did. And so I got there at the end of January and took the flight in because I think I had a stopover. One of the longest stopovers I had was like 12 hours in Taiwan. Um, so we got there. Mm, it was like noon time. I don't know if I need to go through the details of the time, but I'm I'm liking to give the details for some reason. We got there and we oh, this is the funny part. I love this part of the story. Okay, we got there and you have to go through the drill of figuring out where to catch your taxi, or if you're really um, strategic, you'll find out if your hotel has a shuttle or something. And so when we got to the airport, it was still daytime, which is great. And we found out there's either the taxis, which can be kind of expensive, or you take the train and it brings you all the way into the city. Because surprisingly, I didn't find out until after we got there, the airport is a good 30 to 40-minute drive from the city center of Sapporo. So that means there's really nothing out there. It's kind of just like an airport and a small community around the airport, but few hotels out there. But we did find a decent hotel near the airport. I think it was like 5 or so minutes away. We found, because I had a trouble choosing where to stay in Sapporo, because I was kind of like, that was my first time there, and I couldn't figure out if I wanted to stay right in the city center or in the outskirts of the city, and it ended up being the city center. But for that part of the trip. So then what happened was our hotel the first night or two was close to the airport. It was like a 10-minute drive from the airport, about a fourth of the way to the city center. So we got there, it was a cute hotel. But the funny thing is what happened on our way there, okay? What happened was we had a lot of luggage, and it was at least like 4 duffel bags and 2 carry-ons. I mean, that's not a lot. I don't consider that a lot, but that's like the full amount you can carry on a flight. And so, because it was more affordable to take the train to our hotel, which was actually like in walking distance from the, uh, would I call it a train? Or is it more like the, no, it's not the metro, it's the train. Because a lot of times you'll see there's this popular company called JR Train Company, and it runs pretty much everywhere through Japan. So we took the train directly from the airport, and we managed to load our 4 luggages and carry-ons onto the train. And the funny thing happened was that, when you get on the train, it's really comfortable, and the next thing you know, we were at our destination. But we had like these 4 big pieces of luggage, duffels, and they were heavy, filled to capacity. So I was trying to unload everything, and I was like tired from traveling, and it was getting dark, and the platform for the train is like cold, freezing cold, and I was trying to push the duffel, you know, off the train onto the platform, and I was really struggling. And so what happened was there were some other people on the train commuting, and I was so happy. They just got up and they start lifting the luggage. Like, it was crazy how it happened. You'd have to see it to believe it. It was like this one guy, and then another guy got up, and then a girl got up, and it was like a it was so funny, because later on I realized that I was slowing them up because I was taking forever getting the things off the train. The door does not close until you clear the pathway. So they got up because I was taking too long. I was making them miss their appointments and everything. But I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your help. What's the word for thank you? Um, I don't know. I can't think of the word for thank you. But I was like, thank you, thank you. And they were like smiling, and they were putting the luggage on the platform. Another person passed the luggage on the platform. Okay, the humor in that. Okay, so they were nice. And then there's always this attendant person who watches the platform for safety and everything. He was kind enough to bring us a luggage cart, because the hotel is actually just like right next door to the train station. So he was kind to help us get our luggage to the hotel, and then he wrote in his little translator or something, and he said, please, next time, do not bring so much luggage on the train. And I was like, thank you, okay, noted. All right. So we got to the hotel, it was comfortable. And literally, you wouldn't believe me, but it was like 3 feet of snow outside. 3 feet of snow outside. It was like that cold. Um, so we stayed there like 2 nights, I think, resting from the flight and jet lag and whatever. And then we proceeded into Sapporo city center, which was very different from how I imagined. And I was getting a bus. I was traveling with family, so we got a bus ride to the area called Hokkaido. Wait, I'm sorry. Hokkaido is the name of the island. Hakodate is the city. It's like a little small town. So we were trying to get to Hakodate, and that was like a couple hours drive from Sapporo. And so we got to the city center of Sapporo because that's where the buses and the trains that take you to uh, Hakodate are located. And we got there, we found out that the the easiest route for us would be the bus, and the bus is like a good, I think it was a good 4 or 5 hour ride. So we got there like in the evening, like 4 or 5, and we got to Hakodate at like 9, 10ish at night. It was definitely dark. Um, but another interesting thing that happened was that because we couldn't get um, clear instructions as to how to catch the bus to Hakodate, um, there's a language barrier. So we kept looking at the schedules, and they have different bus companies that take you to different places. Couldn't figure it out, but the person who sold the bus tickets, I don't know what to call them. She was very kind, and she helped explain which bus I would take to get to Hakodate because it was a specific bus you have to take, and you don't actually board that bus at the bus station at the city center. Odd, for some reason, you board it across the street at a corner bus stop. And so she explained all that. She even walked me to it so that I would know where the bus was and all that. And she was so, so helpful and kind. And so after she gave all those instructions and we bought our tickets and everything, she was just, because I wouldn't have got there without her help. Um, and it was freezing, snow. It was just a very difficult day. And so we found out where to get on our bus. We got on, and then, like I said, it was like a 4 or 5 hour ride, and got there at night. So our hotel, they didn't have a lot of hotels in Hakodate. We went safe by choosing like an American hotel, um, Sheraton, and that was a bad decision because that has to be one of the because the room itself was like all right, but it was just like the service that was bad because no one spoke a drop of English. Um, the funny thing is that when we got off the bus in Hakodate, and I feel like I should have stayed at the local hotel because I like think that I probably would have had a better experience at it. The bus stop is like this is a small town, Hakodate. And so the bus stop is like right in between so many little hotels in this town. And it's just a small little area, parking lot. They drop you off. And there's like there's one hotel right to the right of the bus parking lot, and there's another one that's a little bit further up the street. Sheraton was like a little bit up the street, but you can see it. So it was snowy, cold, and it ended up being that I had to walk up to the hotel to get somebody to help us with our luggage, which ended up being that we had to drag that luggage practically up there to ourselves. And by the time we got it practically to the door or close to the hotel entrance, that's when somebody came and helped us. So we were like, this dude was kind of lazy. I understand that if luggage is heavy, I don't know. I think that guy was lazy. It was cold. So by the time that we got closer to it, that's when he came and got the rest of the luggage to pull it into the lobby. So that was a struggle. I know it took a good 30 minutes in the cold trying to get that luggage over there because I couldn't get a taxi. So, anyways, we got into the hotel and checked in. This was odd because this is one of the few hotels that I've stayed in that I can say nobody spoke English, and that's really rare. I mean, I've stayed in, I could probably say hundreds of hotels everywhere, and I've never had it that not one person spoke English. So when we got into the room, we had an issue. I think it was some kind of order, and then all of a sudden the toilet stopped working. And in Japan, this is extravagant the way the toilets are. I mean, it's extravagant because you have heated toilet seats. That's my favorite thing. But anyways, they had a bad toilet in there. We kept trying to explain that situation with the translator on Google Translate, and eventually they switched our room. And it was like, by that time, it was like midnight. So it was a tough, long day. We got switched to the other room, and if I'm not mistaken, what happened was the toilet wasn't working in the first room. Then we got into the second room, there was a bad order. So it was like we didn't get it just wasn't working out in this hotel. We complained and put it in the Google Translate. And the thing is funny that I joke about is that every time we would talk with each other, eventually they got their own translator app, and I would be talking, and then the dude would just, like, this is my phone. Imagine it's the translator app, and look, every time we would try to communicate, he would just grab his little translator thing, and he put it in my face like this, and he'd be just looking at me, and I was like, it was weird. It was weird. I've had language barriers before, but this was weird. I mean, in Japan, I think this is like a really weird situation that happened because I never experienced that before anywhere else in Japan. So, um, he would grab the thing and stare at me and whatever. And at the end of the day, nothing got done the way we wanted to after all that supposed translating. So, that was the funny thing is we ended up having to call customer service. Um, and the customer service was like, well, English is a universal language. Why? There's not one person speaking English because it's an American hotel. Anyways, water over the bridge. We left there, and because we were planning to like stay there a good 3 or 4 days to wait for our Airbnb, but it didn't work. We didn't like staying there. It was just like, and then you never know why certain places will make you feel uncomfortable because I just always say the energy of the place can also speak a whole lot. It just everything was plain, but it just doesn't look good. Okay, I'm trying to wrap this story up because it's actually getting dark now, and I gotta go and grab dinner. But let me try to wrap up my story. So, and it's getting dark. Okay, so what happened was we were supposed to be going to another Airbnb, and we changed our mind. We booked for another Airbnb to come out quicker out of the hotel. And that Airbnb was a nightmare. We got there, and it looked like it was somebody's man cave. That's maybe putting it nicely. It felt like one of those haunted houses. And so we managed. like a couple days, and we were like, because we had booked it for like 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer. And I was trying to make it work. I have this thing of trying to, like, as they say, soldier it out, which is not really good. And I was like, okay, I mean, it's still a workable place, but it just was not comfortable. I'm not going to go into a whole detailed description of the place, but it was bad. So maybe it was like a place where maybe a guy could like stay for a little while, but it definitely wasn't suitable for guests. So um, it's supposed to be like 2 or so weeks. We had to come out, and that's what started to like make the trip go downhill after that. Because it's like, now, what do we do? It was just out of a curiosity thing that I went to Hakodate, and so we complained and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't meet the host, which I'm glad I didn't, because he was kind of giving those um, weirdo kind of vibes. But we had to come out and deal with that issue with customer service, and it was so messy. So um, afterwards, we had to just go straight back to Sapporo because I, I realized there's nothing out there in uh, Hakodate. It's like what you call the one horse town. So we took the bus back to Sapporo, and we stayed at, just one of their regular hotels. I think it was a Holiday Inn or something. And so, anyways, from there, that was the end of the trip. Because after that experience, we were like, mm, Hokkaido, which is the name of the island, is just not going to work. And so then I had to make last minute arrangements to go back to Tokyo. But did I leave anything out of the story? I don't think I left anything out of the story. Oh, okay. Last part. So what was cool was after staying in Sapporo, we took the bus back to the airport, and at the airport there's this really great place to spend the night before flight. Um, and it's cool because it's traditional. So what you get is a like traditional like kind of set of night pajamas, and it's like a cute little lounge room where you can take a nap and everything. And so that was really enjoyable. Um, so that was great. And if I can find a picture, or if I could even find a video, that would be great. But I have so many videos. But anyways, that was the great part. And then we took our flight back to Tokyo. And so that's my story time. So no hard feelings towards Hokkaido. It just wasn't for me, and maybe I won't say never. But that was just an experience. I'll say like that. Okay. So until next time, I'm gonna hopefully try to post more videos soon. And yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Okay, it's getting dark. I'm about to like have some technical difficulties. Okay, peace.